Greetings. Don't forget to hit the bell for all notifications if you haven't done so already. I have 2 news for you, bad and terrible. Not only is there no moon, but the sun has also been stolen. And don't say you haven't heard. Chukovsky, back in the last century, shouted about it from every book counter, but you decided that the man just composed a rhyme. No, not easy. He was forced to hide it in a nursery rhyme, so he avoided the madhouse. You were clearly told, the crocodile has swallowed our sun. And you sat and clapped your ears. Here is a sun and slammed. Nobody stole anything, the sun rises every morning. You will object, but you will be bitterly mistaken. Let's translate the nursery rhyme into the language of adults. The reptiles closed their luminary, and in return they turned on some kind of surrogate lantern of such a strange action that people fell into a specific state, which they began to call this dream. It turns out that the sun is not a fiery disk, but the name of this whole scam, as a result of which the true source of light and heat was closed, a substitute lantern was screwed up, and people fell into hibernation. If the sun is not the name of a lantern, then what was the name of the ancestors? We remember fairy tales, there is no sun there. But there is Yarilo. That is what the ancestors call their new lantern. In Dahl's dictionary, Yarilo means heat, burning fire. Apparently, the ancestors alternated pronunciation, either Yarilo or ZharIlo. Thus, Yarilo is a new, unusually hot, blinding and burning lantern, and the sun is an illusory world into which the people have been immersed. Over time, the creatures merged these 2 concepts together, Yarilo-Sun. This is how this dish was prepared. And now a logical question arises, what was the name of our true luminary, which was swallowed by a crocodile? We find the answer in the rock art of the ancients, where a scratched circle with rays is strangely signed, solar. That's it, the name of our luminary. Funny coincidence, sol from English soul, soul. Thus, solar is the soul of the Aryans, and not just a luminous core in the center of the earth. Solar is the central processor of the planet, guardian angel, egregor, collective mind, protector and patron of the Aryans rolled into one. While the solar was shining, the Aryans were invincible. Let's summarize. Yarilo, sunny, solarium, it seems to be synonyms from the same test, but now we know that these are completely different words. Let's pay tribute to the creatures, they merged not 2 concepts, but 3. Solar is a true living luminary core, the central processing unit, the brain of our planet, which is now closed by a multi-layered opaque shell, decorated with stars and planets. Yarilo is not a living luminary, which is a burning and blinding laser emitter, the disk of which we see in the sky. Sky. The sun is not an object, it is a state of trance into which Yarilo drives. That is why our sensitivity to the subtle world is sharpened at night. We, especially children, always see something in the dark, and we are afraid. We are afraid because we are not familiar with and are not ready for the subtle world, because we sleep in a narcotic dream from birth to death, which we are also afraid of more than anything in the world. Why did it take to remake the world on such a breathtaking scale? And here's why: the spirit is eternal, although this, fortunately, is not disputed, and in order for it to evolve, the eternal spirit also needs an eternal body, a human one. Otherwise, this is aimless walking in circles, stepping on the same rake. If the bodies do not age, then they do not die, therefore they must live in a non-cyclical world. This is a world where there is no change of day and night, summer and winter, death and birth. No carousel, just moving forward. Our Earth was just like that. To make it easier to understand, imagine a slice of a chicken egg. A strong shell is a shell of the planet for protection from space. The next layer under the shell is a white film, land and oceans. In the very center, the yolk, this is the solar core, a giant luminary, warm and gentle, and not burning and blinding. The main percent of the volume of the egg is protein, between the white film and the yolk. This is the biosphere of the planet. A cord passes through the protein from the shell to the yolk. This is the tree of life, the connection of the periphery with the center. This is a giant oak, which Pushkin told about, and the film Avatar told how the creatures got rid of it. It used to be a different world. The whole space from the land or ocean to the solar was simply teeming with life. This is proved by the giant stumps that are scattered all over the planet. Modern forests 30 meters high are just miserable bushes compared to the fabulous forests of the Aryans. There were practically no fields on Earth, everything was covered with vegetation tens and hundreds of kilometers in height. There was a different atmospheric pressure, a different gravity, a different composition of the air, there was a different world, which modern man is not even able to imagine. It was an ideal world. And let the language of the one who keeps telling us about wild ancestors and about the fucking level of development of modern civilization wither away. In that ideal world, insects, birds, animals, fish and, of course, humans do not die and are not born. The incarnation occurs through the condensation of energy until the manifestation of the physical body, and in such proportions as the spirit wants. There is no subconsciousness, only pure consciousness and full access to 100% of the brain, which is not divided into hemispheres. At any moment you create with the power of thought whatever you want, and there is no greater pleasure than to contemplate the fruits of your labor. Pleasure of this order is not comparable in strength with the orgasm of a modern biorobot. The latter just zilch against the explosion of a nuclear bomb. It was a completely different form of life, perfect as the universe itself. So the Aryans lived, the true creators, until entities with a mirror image inside arrived, parasites. Take care of yourself, Ray. Love you.